Hello, and welcome back to another amazing episode of Dénht'ā. For people that are currently checking in for the first time, Dénht'ā in my Kaska Dene language means hi, how are you? Which is appropriate because I get to talk with a bunch of amazing Indigenous people that I get to meet or commune with, become friends, or perform with, such as this next beautiful performer who I know quite personally because they're a good friend of mine, Brendan Fulmer.
Hi, I'm Brandon, aka Stella Lamour. I am a local Fort McMurrayite, Two Spirit Métis person. I'm from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, and I've called Fort McMurray home for 14 years. Yeah.
Nice, fantastic. So Brendan, I know you quite well, and I'm hoping that these people that we get to know are going to get, our people on the podcast are going to get to know you as well. So when we first met, you didn't know that you were Indigenous, right?
I was just like figuring it out. Like I had an idea. My mom sat on the board of Friendship Center when I was like a teenager, so I kind of knew there was something there, but I didn't know what it like meant. Like what does that mean to me? And I was just starting on my journey, finding out what my Indigenous identity meant to me, because I had to find all that on my own.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. And watching you perform, just like, oh wow, oh my gosh,
Who's that beautiful, strong
look
person?
who's that beautiful, strong person. No, yes, changed my life.
That's good. Changing lives, always me, Ella Lamoureux, life changer. But also like your journey, you talked about that. Has it been easy, like identifying or finding your culture?
I mean, as I became more proud of the things like, I guess culture, you know, I didn't really grow up with all of that. Like my family, in a farming community in Saskatchewan, I mean, we raised all of our own food and grew grains and stuff. My grandpa was a farmer. So like we did stuff with the land a lot. And you know, I didn't really know what that meant. We weren't taught the significance and the ceremony of all of that. So yeah, when I first met you, what was that, 2017, I think, give or take?
I think 2016.
2016. Oh yeah, it was because I just moved back to Fort McMurray after the fire, and I went to a show that you guys put on. Yes, and I didn't. I grew up with all Native friends, pretty much. But as I moved away from my hometown, I didn't really have a lot of Native friends as well. So I didn't really have an inclination to find out what that meant. And then I moved to Fort McMurray, and it's culturally positive here in a lot of ways. There's a lot of people that celebrate their culture, and it's. There's definitely flack that people get here a lot of the time, just like, oh, you're Native. But there are a lot more, I find, support for like people that are like, I'm Métis, I'm Indigenous. It's like, that's amazing. Where are you from? It's like having a conversation, and I like that.
It's true with Fort McMurray though, because you've mentioned about being here, there's more indigeneity in Saskatchewan where you were. I find in northern towns there is more Indigenous people. In more bigger cities, it's not as many.
More spread out.
Yeah, more spread out, exactly. So they have stronger communities here. Yeah. So you have that option, but also I find like stronger communities in northern towns, the racism can be quite intense.
Yes, yeah, like the sense of community is nice too, but then also the sense of isolation is also there, which is a challenge in its own, personally for me, because I wasn't raised with that culture. Sometimes I have a hard time, is this for me still? Like even though, I'm very white passing, like I'm a white person when you look at me on the street, but at the end of the summer, just like all of us, I get a little dark.
I get a hint of
then you can tell. No, I'm just
You
kidding.
have the high cheekbones. People see Native when they see you. Yeah.
But yeah, it's become something that I hold strongly. Like when people are like, when I tell people that I'm Métis, I mean it. Like I'm Métis, and don't say anything about it because I'll have something else to say to you. Yeah. Little things like that.
Have you always felt that when you said that I was Métis, or was there uncertainty before?
There was definitely uncertainty before. I would only tell my Native friends or people that I knew were actually Native.
I'm Métis. Guess what? Me too.
Hey, I'm a little bit. LI. Wait, no, I'm part of that. No, it's not the same. You keep that.
Well, let's discuss the journey of saying you're Métis with confidence. So at the beginning, you said you didn't have the largest confidence with it. Can you tell us why?
I think it was because I had seen what people say to a lot of Native people, and with my family, sorry family, I'm outing you, but my family doesn't always say the nicest things towards Indigenous people, even though a lot of my family is Native. Yeah. Like my grandmother is dark skinned. She's like, she's just a little darker than us. No, my grandma's brown. Like,
Yeah.
and people are
She's
like,
visually.
oh, she looks like a cookum. She totally does. We've never called her that. We've
Yeah.
always called her grandma. So I think it's just a little bit of shame
Yeah.
that kept
can see
me
that.
from taking that identity on and really owning it. Just like using the word Two Spirit for
Yeah.
me. Like that's in the last couple of years that I was like, oh, that is for me.
Yeah.
And I use that, and now I wear that like a badge of honor as well. But it's, I don't know.
It's true what you said though about hearing what other people say, because you are, like you said, you're white passing. You grew up in a world that didn't have a lot of culture in it, so you got to hear firsthand because people saw you as a safe space.
And I was
to
like
probably
a-
say things around.
Yes.
So they just said things around you that you probably wouldn't say around, say, a Native person.
Yeah, like very insensitive comments about, oh, they all do that, oh, they all do that. It's like, well, if you know who all of us are, to what level that means, that's kind of, not very, like, doesn't promote confidence in the identity, I suppose.
Literally, because then it can keep you from identifying. And now you're like, no, bitch, I'm Métis.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, calm down.
Yeah, I'm not just white.
Yeah, I'm Métis and Two Spirit. I do remember when we did the showcase 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When you were very unsure about doing it because you're like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if it's there, but you
Can I
did it
use
anyway.
this term?
Yeah.
Like, is it something that follows? Yes.
And then you did it.
I just
and
did
it was
it.
a great show.
It really was lovely.
You did
and
Katy Perry fireworks, I believe.
yeah, I think I threw glow sticks at people. I mean, it was a gimmick, so.
But it was great though. That song had meaning towards
Yes,
you.
it did. That was, Katy Perry's fireworks song helped me like realize my queerness in myself. And as a 19-year-old, listening to pop music, that sounds kind of far-fetched, but music and lyrics mean something.
Oh, they totally do.
Which is why
It
I love
resonates.
doing drag and theater and stuff, because it helps tell the story that your words and your body language can't always. It's music, it's dancing, it's a feeling.
Yeah.
It's very important.
And everyone can relate to music. Maybe not every genre of music,
No.
but you can always relate to music.
Yep.
It's kind of like
It means something.
when you go to a powwow or you're going to like a drumming circle or something like that, the beat of the drum,
Yes.
which sometimes can emulate a heartbeat and reverberates?
Resonate.
Reverberates?
Reverberate?
Whatever, through the ground. So you
Vibrates. I feel you.
Yeah, so you feel it in your body,
Yes.
right? So that's like he said with music.
Yeah.
The song means something, lyrics mean something. It all helps to healing.
That is also something to say what you just said about the drum. I have very vivid memories of being like a 14, 15-year-old teenager. My mom sat on the Friendship Center board in Lloydminster where I grew up. And I remember on National Aboriginal Day, the street we blocked off for like a half of like a residential block in Lloydminster. Like it's a very small, they're like, you're giving the whole block. And it's like from one back alley to another back alley, but they'd have the drum circle in the middle. They'd bring out hoop dancers, like beginner, intermediate, advanced hoop dancers, and like all the food, like neck bones and bannock. Like people are like, oh, that's not good, but I love going for the neck bones and bannock. And just watching the culture of togetherness for people, I always knew that that's something that made me feel really, really good. Listening to the drum, listening to the chants, watching people dance in like jingle dancers and traditional dancers, and just the way that everybody moves. Like there's a very intentional way that all these things are done to promote these feelings, these emotions, invoke these, feelings of togetherness. And I love it so much. It literally makes my skin, I get goosebumps whenever I hear a drum and start like chanting. It's palpable.
It's like a sense of community, right? There's intention
Feel it.
there
I
to
love
build
it.
us as a whole. One beat, one heartbeat.
Yes.
That's the drum.
Well, it's, a lot of Indigenous cultures across the world have
A drum.
a drum,
Some variation of it, but there's usually a drum.
a steady heartbeat.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
I agree.
I like it. Yeah, no.
So you are a performer. Fantastic. Stella Lamour, for people that don't know, this is one of my drag children.
Stepchild, I think. No, I'm just kidding.
She's twice removed.
It's not my fault.
All right. About your performances, do you ever try to infuse your culture into your performances or just keep it in the back?
I mean, I feel like I wear the identity of it, like Two Spirit drag queen, but I don't have a lot of that. Like I don't have a lot of ceremonial knowledge and for that. So I mean, I would like to say in the future I would like to, but as it stands right now, no, I haven't really I don't own my own finger weaved Métis sash, things like that. So no, I don't have a lot of
it can all mean
culture
little
into
different things. Like even if you wore your one earring.
Oh, I guess I do wear beads.
Culture into.
I wear beads on my neck and my ear. So I guess yes. Okay, yes. Small elements, but it's not like the song choice and movements that I do aren't always like.
Yeah. Just start jigging onto the stage.
I mean, I can jig,
to Katy Perry's Fireworks.
Imagine, the whitest song ever. And let's do a jig here.
Yeah.
No.
Just have like drums overlaid on top of the track.
Ideas. Let me write that down.
Yeah, you can make it work. Yeah. But yeah, like minor little things like that show representation.
Yes.
Like,
so I guess yes, a little bit.
Yeah. Do you like beadwork?
I do love beads. I love the story that people can tell with them, and also love the artistry of it. I admire people that sit down there and do that like full time and a lot, because my attention span and my focus is very hard for me to do beadwork. I have severe ADHD, so I either need like a TV going with music and a Game Boy or my phone playing something while I'm doing it. Otherwise I can't focus. I don't have that center to 5 things going on.
It's a lot of work though.
It's so much concentration, counting. It's like
and the little needle.
Oh my gosh.
And then you need to like thread the needle through beeswax so the beads go through easier.
And stay still.
Yeah. My family's big beaders, and I have one aunt. I have many aunts actually, but my one aunt is like considered the beader of the family, even though every single one of them beads. And like the crazy part is you can tell the difference because my one aunt, who's the beader, makes sure that every single bead is the same size, spatially far apart. And this is what she does with her eyes, just quickly
looks at it
because it's good. Whereas like the rest of the family is like put it together, and they both look amazing, but one is completely uniform in size and spacing, and the other one is different. And I was
that's like delicious.
Literally, it is. You're like looking at it, and you're like, all right, I can see why you're charging $7,000 for this. That's an exaggerated price, but
still, I mean, some of those pieces that they do, they are huge.
Yeah,
and that's like how many hours for a section like that? Hundreds and thousands of hours.
Especially if it's a big piece.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, it's
beautiful.
Lovely.
I love it. I'm the same with you. I can't focus.
Yeah.
Like I need things going on with around me, but I also get bored easily. I'm like, this is good for like
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm done.
Yeah. Dustin and I, when we went on a trip, tried to learn crocheting, and I got really good at doing one stitch. But when I had to learn to do something else, I was like, I'm done.
That's too hard.
I can make one straight line go really, really far.
Make shoelaces for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone gets a shoelace. It's a good idea. That's everyone's Christmas present.
Be simple. Be very simple.
All right. So you mentioned earlier that you don't have a lot of cultural influences in your life to do little bits of ceremony. Have you tried to find that in your life?
Yes. I guess yes and no, I suppose, because, there's still a part of me that doesn't know what that means in a sense. Like I know, like I've smudged, I have sage. I was blessed to actually, when I went to Osoyoos for a friend's wedding, they live in the mountains in Osoyoos, just past the lake, and I went on a little hike and I found wild white sage that I was able to collect from, and I spread the seeds, collected the leaves and everything, and it was really beautiful. And I sometimes burn that when I'm feeling like really emotional, like sad. I come home from work, have a really, really, really bad day, and I'll just like burn a little bit. Burn a little bit, do a little sweetgrass cleanse.
So that's amazing. And also, did someone teach you about spreading the seeds and collecting the white sage? For people that don't know, it's a ceremonial sage.
I mean, I always knew that you had to collect with intention, like positive vibes, like who are you thinking about, who you want to gift this to, if it's a gift, or the feelings that you want to have when you burn it in that. But it wasn't a very large patch, and I didn't want to take it all. So I was like, when I was breaking off some of the seed pods, I just like threw it into the wind, scattered into the wind.
So these are things that you're talking about. You don't know a lot of things. That's amazing about like being conscientious of what you're taking. You don't want to take it all. You want to make sure it's there. Spreading the seeds. Yeah. See, it's instinctual.
Is that like a rule for collecting?
Yeah, you don't want to take it all.
No,
a little bit, and you do want to spread the seeds. Yeah.
Look at me go.
Look at you go. Exactly. It's your ancestors just speaking through
talking to me. No, you're not wrong. I guess I don't give enough credit to some of the things that I do know. I just don't know that it means that.
Yeah.
I suppose.
There you go, just coming natural. Same with intention. Intention's huge in indigeneity.
When you put whatever you're thinking into that.
Yeah.
I was taught that.
Because they're going to take it when they receive it.
As a gift.
Yeah.
And that's why, I was told, I can't remember who it was, I was told by an elder to never take a gift of medicine from somebody you don't know. Because how do you know what they've put into that medicine?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like,
Could make you more sick.
you don't know their intentions. It could make you sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, blows my mind.
Mind blown.
It does, because it also has to do with the buy-in, the belief of it too. Like if you believe it has an effect, it will have an effect.
Yeah.
And I believe that.
A placebo.
Yeah, well, not necessarily a placebo, but it's kind of like, I don't know how to say it, like you attract what you put out, and like I'm gonna have a really bad day, and then you have a bad day because you're expecting it. It's
That's
that
true.
kind of
Like a
idea.
self-fulfilling
The spirituality of
prophecy, I
it.
think.
It's like I want this to bring this to me, and then you will do things to make that happen. So I think that's really cool too.
Like
the full
manifesting?
circle of thank you. I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the full circle.
Yeah.
Manifestation.
Yeah. I think you're doing fantastic. Like you said, you didn't know these things, but once again, there's no right way to be Native. I think we've had this conversation before. No right way to be Native, no right way to be Two Spirit. Is how you're holding yourself and working through this world in a true and authentic way. And you're doing that.
Yes.
Quit downplaying yourself.
I know. Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. That's actually hard for anyone to say. I can't even say that sometimes too. I'm coasting and hoping that I land in the right place sometimes.
Journey. Life's a journey.
Life's a journey.
It's not always
That's
about the
right.
destination.
Yeah. Do you try to take part in any powwows around this area?
No, I haven't, unfortunately, done
It's
that.
hard, though.
It is actually, well, also, they would be open arms willing if I were to go out to like Mackay or something, or like Anzac during a powwow. They'd be like, hey, come on in, let's go. But I feel like I would want to respect the space, and I don't know how to arrive. Like, what do I bring? Do I have to bring, an offering of thanks for this, and what does that look like? We don't really have a lot of wild tobacco growing here.
Yeah.
Everything's been cut down, and it's all.
Do you know what you can do? Just if you ever go to a powwow, the easiest thing is to just bring tobacco. It's an offering. It's a like a little gift. You can just buy a little pouch, give them a little bit from a store.
Yeah, just
It
like an
doesn't need to
actual.
be- an actual loose.
Tobacco.
You can be like some people and give a cigarette, but I always feel like it's a little weird.
That's a little, yeah. See, that
You can
makes
buy
me
the
feel a
loose
little
tobacco.
weird.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here you go.
Thank
The
you.
butt here will kill a bird if you leave it out.
Yeah. Just buy the ones that have seeds in the filter, so that
Yeah, exactly.
the biodegradable ones.
Yeah.
No.
Just spread it out, and you can spread
Yeah.
the seeds.
I
out.
would love. If I look back when I was younger, I went to rodeos, like with my family, my grandpa, when before he retired from farming. We had the pigs and the grains, but he had friends in Saskatchewan and Red Deer that we would travel to, and we would go visit his friends that did these things, and I'm like, oh, okay. Rodeo, they do rodeos at powwow sometimes, but and I would see
They're a little different.
yeah,
context
like
with it.
horseback riding, like buck riding and stuff. Bareback riding I did see, but I never seen like the Indian relay, what they do.
Have you ever been to Stampede in Calgary?
No.
Well, if you ever go to Stampede in Calgary, they have their relay Indigenous track.
Yeah, I
things
love
there.
that. I've seen it on TV.
Yeah, it's so neat.
So beautiful.
Like, we don't have that up north because we didn't really have horses
No.
where I was. But they have horses here on the plains, and they can have these little games. And it's so neat because it's just the Indigenous people that take part in this part. Because
Yeah,
it's just an Indigenous sport. No one else can do it. But it's so neat how they're running and jumping on these horses, and they're speeding around and like
Switching horses halfway between, like.
it's so neat. And then they get the barrel roll for the white guys.
Yeah. Here, go run around a circle for 3 times.
Yeah,
Come back.
exactly.
It's like very much. I'm at a loss for words for it. Very athletic. A lot of that is very.
Or like it's agility and it's
You
like
have to be in touch with the
trust
animal as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like how to maneuver it.
It's so neat.
Because it's all bareback as well. They don't put a saddle on it
Nope.
because that's
They didn't have
colonial.
that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all bareback.
Saddles weren't a thing.
Yeah.
It was always hook at the back of their legs with your feet, like on their hindquarters.
It's, I don't know, it's amazing.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, so you're talking about like rodeo, it's kind of the same thing.
I would love to do that. I would definitely do that. I just need somebody to go with.
Well, if I was in Stampede this year, I'd say
Come down.
Come, but I'm
I
not
would.
Stampede this year.
Well, yeah. Well, then when you are, I will come. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm sure I will find a way. My sister's coming up at the end of the summer to visit my family. She's from Glendon, and she's bringing up our family lineage, actually, so I can get my Métis status card this year.
Oh, nice.
So I'm finally going to get that in my 30s. I've been wanting that for years, but I never knew my family lineage past my great-grandparents.
Yeah.
But we have to go back to like the 1900s, because that tells everything. And it's on both sides of my family.
And your sister has all that?
My sister has all of it.
Oh, good for her.
And it's all written down, photocopied documents that I have that you have to submit with your application. And I'm like, yes.
Because you have a huge Métis, not reservation, but a huge Métis settlement here in Fort McMurray.
Yeah, well, there's 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Chip,
so it's easy
Mackay,
to get your
Anzac, Jambier,
license here.
Yes, I would be able to get Alberta Nation of my Indian license. I'm just kidding. Well, because I'm Saskatchewan, like that's where my blood is from, but I'm in Alberta, so that is also something I don't know. Like, do I apply in Alberta or do I apply in Saskatchewan?
I think you can still apply here.
For Alberta, because I'm resident here.
Yeah, I mean, like they probably won't give you like the Fort Mackay or Fort McMurray license, but you can still get your
Métis status. Métis status.
It would just show your home band. Because when I used to apply for mine in BC, my band's in the Yukon, they would just fill out the proper paperwork for where it's at, so then it'd be printed on the card.
So given to you, issued by the province, but for your Métis nation, your Indigenous nation of.
Yeah, but now all status cards are through the government now, so just or the INAC, which is where they still call it that Indian Northern Affairs.
The Indian Act, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you need
triggering
to change
still.
That. Yeah.
Literally triggering still.
Yeah.
Said that a couple of days ago. I was talking with my friend Brittany that I brought out to the shows.
The little white girl?
Yeah, the little white girl. She's dating.
So cute with the
her baby daddy is treaty, and her baby's treaty as well. So she's learning about all those kinds of things. Lost my train of thought.
It's fine. I was distracted with that little tiny thing having a baby.
Yeah.
She's so tiny.
I know, and she's wild. But and that's one thing too, like, to give credit, like her family was not Native at all, didn't really have a lot of Native influence, and she is full into the culture. She's like fully respectful.
Did she come to the show with you on Thursday?
Yeah. She was with me. She brought me to the show.
Friday, sorry, not Thursday.
Yeah, and she's been actually a little beacon of hope for me in that sense. Like when she started seeing Austin and they got pregnant and stuff, she's like, oh, I don't know how this is going to work out, like where am I going to be? And she moved out onto the reservation with him and have their baby and everything, and I've been out to visit her a couple times, and I think that's what's helping me a little bit as well, is reinforce that
good for her.
You don't have to be, to show respect in a lot of ways, which is helping me lean more into owning that more and seeking out that information, which is really cool. So thanks, Brittany, if you see this.
Yeah, thanks, Brittany. That's also really good of her to realize that she has a Native baby, so she should learn to help
and
him
be
along the way.
And reinforce the culture when she gets older. I think it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Because a lot of times when people move off reserve, due to unforeseen circumstances or even reasons when they don't want to, they lose a lot of it.
Yeah.
And you try to go back, and it's really hard to go back to something that you don't have anymore, that you had.
Yeah, and then you have to rebuild.
And rebuild it. Yeah. Because then it's the shame again. Yeah. And it's good. So I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, because you're talking about the shame. There's the people that feel like they left away and they don't know how to be Native again, and there's that shame.
And they never visited again, because that's all it is. It's this huge wall of, I'm going to have to apologize to these people. I'm going to have to apologize to the ancestors for denying or, not using the medicine properly or whatever we do to make ourselves feel better in the moment.
Yeah.
And time goes by and you go, oh, wait.
And in reality, you just always come back.
I mean, yes.
Like
this is very true. It never leaves us.
It never leaves.
It never leaves.
You may have taken a break or a little step away, but you can always step back in. And a lot of times people don't shame you for that. It's our own internal thoughts that let us think that. Yeah, exactly. Our own worst enemy is just right up here, thinking, creating stories.
Yeah.
But, it's not the truth.
No.
Right?
And I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, same with cultural identity. Like you said, you didn't even know you were doing the thing right with your seeds and collecting your sage, and you burn that at home for when you're having a bad day. You're living authentic.
It's hard though, but yes, I'm grace in that. Definitely grace in that. I like to say that some days I'm more confident in myself than others in those decisions that I make, but it is important.
I feel like that's life,
and I'm
though,
very
right?
thankful. Yeah, you're not wrong.
And being thankful is always good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thankful you're in my life.
I'm thankful you're in my life
I
too.
don't see you a lot, but I'm thankful you're here.
Word. I agree.
Word.
Word. I mean, yes. Yes, I agree, totally.
Yeah. Just throw in like
Sorry.
a British accent in there as well. Bring the colonizer out.
It's making fun of it.
I know. Amazing. So let's talk about the show on Friday.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
The Two Spirit Showcase,
Yeah.
I really loved it. There was a new, I don't know what it was about this time, but there was like a new energy about what was happening at this show specifically. I feel like it was...
The new energy might have been it's the first year that you weren't a part of it. So you got to sit and enjoy it without having the nerves in the back.
You're not wrong.
So you probably got to actually feel what the audience feels.
Yeah, it was really lovely. Like I really felt, because everybody did something, a nod to culture as well as something nod to art. And I really felt like a community in there of not just like a queer community in Fort McMurray, but like there's a Two-Spirit community happening right now. And it was really like beautiful. Shout out to Jaylene as well. Almost made me cry a couple of times. And I thinking about some of the things that she said, like, thank you all for being here. I'm really grateful that you're here. Just like putting out the intention initially, I was like, oh my God, this woman is, not 25 anymore, but she looks it. And it's just so nice to see somebody in later stages of life as a Two-Spirit person. I literally was like, wow, I've never met anybody.
Well, we don't have a lot of Two-Spirit elders.
So it was really, really nice to see.
Jaylene's not. She's like a few years off. But
yeah, she's not an elder yet. But that's what I mean. Is
she's
like
considered one.
She's lived life.
Yeah.
She,
like she's so eloquently spoken. Like she speaks with intention, like you said. So
it's
you
really
sit there and
beautiful.
you listen to every word.
Yeah. And her saying that she wants to bring ceremony into the art. She's like, screw that. She's like, knock that down. I'm bringing it.
Yeah.
Like
intention. Right?
Boom, right there. Yeah. And everybody knows. Everybody in the room when she speaks to that, hi, my friends. Thank you for coming. You just get
amazing. And then if you ever listen to her story, I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but you should listen to
I haven't
her.
heard, no, yet.
Listen to her episode. She's also someone that has resurged her identity with culture and has jumped right into it. So once again, there's all different levels of reaching it. Like with myself, my life gets busy, no excuse. So I try to do things as much as I can, but sometimes I don't. And then there comes that change, like, am I doing enough? And you're like, no, I am doing enough for what I can handle. Yeah. It's the same with
what it means to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah. And it's really important.
It is. You need to carry that with yourself too.
I think I will try to do it more. I will try to do it more.
You're doing with what you can, with what you have right now. Yes. You're doing everything that you can, which is amazing.
Yes.
Living your life. You're wearing an earring, right?
Yeah.
People ask questions for that, I bet.
They do. I work in a very heteronormative place, and I wear this. I don't always wear it very often because I get questions from people that I work with, and they're cool people, but I mostly just get the...
Ew, you're wearing an earring? It's like, are you being racist or homophobic right now?
Pick one. Yeah, you can't be both.
Can't be both.
No, yeah, so I don't always wear my beads at work. And I know that kind of sucks. And it does, like, when I think about it, it's a safety thing too, because I don't want anybody to like chastise culture because they have a perception of this person wearing this, looking at this in this situation. Yeah. So I just, being a bartender, I pick my battles. The lights are off. It's nighttime. It's not a daytime talk show where I'm going to be broadcasting my indigeneity. Like, okay, cool. You want to have a conversation? I'll have a conversation, but we're not here for that. Yeah. So we're okay with.
Like, I'm going to serve you your drinks and I'm going to go home. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to have a little bit of a cute time, but that's it.
I don't have to go home with you, so. Yeah. think whatever you want.
It's so true that, like, when I think about picking and choosing your battles, because I also, like, sometimes I'll choose to wear my beads where I am, and then sometimes I'm like, do I want to have this conversation today? And then I have to tell myself, don't not wear them because you don't want to have to deal with someone else, and like not wear them just because you don't want to wear them for the day. Yeah. And it's something to have to remind myself sometimes as well.
No, that's good. That's really smart, actually. Thank you for that. I'm definitely going to say that to myself whenever I'm like, I want to wear my earring today. Oh no, but I'm like, no. Do I want to wear this today, and why? Yeah. Is it because of other people or because of me?
Yeah. Intention.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. You're welcome. Once again, changing lives.
I'm definitely
Ella Lamoureux, life changer.
For real. For real.
Let's talk about, you're talking about how you didn't have to go home with them. this is not culture at all. It's just, have you ever been in a situation where you're really vibing with someone and then they say something so off kilter, like kind of borderline racist or like homophobic, and you're like, ooh,
Oh wow!
like instantly
This
just
changed
falls.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what? This actually happened recently. I try to avoid when I finish work a little early because I'm a bartender. I try to avoid sitting at the bar whenever I'm finished at the nighttime, because if you sit there, you're like, oh, I'll just have like a after work one, and then it turns into a couple. And I did that too many times when I first started. So now I like get off work, I like get food, pay for my food, and then go.
Yeah.
I had gotten off work early. I was sitting on the bar and I had a couple of drinks. I was like off the next day, so I was like chilling. My food came out. I was about to leave. Dude came and sat down. He's from Kelowna. I don't even remember his name. Honestly, I don't remember. I will never remember his name anymore. He was like really cool. He's like this cool dude up here for work, talking about his houseboat and all these things. He goes, oh yeah, I mean, my friends, we get together and do all this stuff. And I was like, oh, so you're like flashy your money. I was like, no, like we don't do that. You know, I own my business, so like I'm able to do this stuff. And we got to chatting and had some mutual interests about like music. And I was like, okay, like this guy's actually kind of cool. Like, you're not that much of a douchebag. As I say now, and then we're talking, and I don't remember what brought it up specifically, but I'd made like a girl comment, like, well, I was like, oh my god, girl, and he's just like, girl, what are you, a fag? And sorry, am I allowed to? Yeah. And I was just like, oh, ew, and I went off. I like, not really meaning. I was like, oh, that's gross. I'm like, what do you mean? This whole time we were talking, and then you just, what are you, a fag? I'm like, yeah, I am. And I just like, we were sitting side by side. I was like, I'm not fucking moving because I'm stubborn. And I was like, no, you're gonna feel my presence. I just like looked away. I didn't even look at him. I just like looked past him and I was like, wow, you're disgusting. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, okay, this is cool. Maybe I got a new friend. I mean, maybe he's kind of cute. Like maybe just friend. Maybe zero, nothing. No.
Maybe he'll bite me on my
one time. One thing.
That's all it needs, right? Because you're like, oh, it's disgusting. Energy's not there.
You're like, this box checked. Okay, cool. Continue the conversation. Box checked.
Intention's gone.
Yeah, all of it. No. So yeah. Moral of the story is get your food and go home.
That's right. No hanging out.
No hanging out.
No drinks. Just the water.
Yeah. Maybe iced tea.
Maybe, exactly, if we want to indulge.
But yeah, no, that is something that I feel people have different layers of their identity that they will shed as they get comfortable in the conversation. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people don't let those things out that they know people don't like about, you know, some of your opinions that you have. There are consequences to your opinion. You're allowed to have them. You're allowed to have an opinion about whatever you want, but there are fucking consequences.
Which I feel like a lot of people don't understand. Like, we live in a freedom of speech country. Yeah. But there's still consequences to what you say.
Yeah, and intention about what you're doing. Like, are you hurting somebody with that? Then don't. Like, maybe think twice.
They're weak. They're simple. That's one thing I hate as well, when they're like, oh, the world's too sensitive right now. So like people say that, I just switch their gender on them and they get so upset. I'm like, well, now who's the sensitive one now? I thought pronouns didn't matter.
Yep. And being self-aware of the world isn't a sensitivity. It's being knowledgeable of the world we live in. And some people just care a little more.
Yeah. Let's talk about something about like privilege now.
Okay.
When you talk about white privilege.
Yeah.
I am so tired of people still not understanding what that means.
Or getting mad when they get called out for it, for doing something.
It's so annoying to me, like, check your privilege. Like, I didn't have privilege. I had to deal with this. I had to deal with homophobia. I'd be like, that has nothing to do with your privilege. It just means you had it easier. I've never had it easier. I'd be like, you are like walking right into everything right now. It's like that you don't understand this.
And the fact that you're comfortable enough to complain that at this moment is also a privilege.
Yeah, literally. That you don't have to take knowledge of it.
I have a lot in that sense, being like very white passing. Some people even say that I'm straight passing. I don't see it. I hear my voice.
Hey girl.
I don't see it at all, but there are some people that don't realize what queerness is. You know, and
you even have like a pep in your step and a sway to your hips.
I do. Some people are just like, "Oh, you can't be." I'm like, what does that mean? I mean, it's not a compliment. You're like, I had no idea that you were gay. Oh my God, thank you so much. I fit in.
I do my best.
Ew.
I could just imagine someone be like, you know that Brandon, I bet he gets lots of chicks.
Pulls. Somebody said at work.
Pulls. There we go.
He
That's the
pulls.
word.
I was like, what the he pulls? I'm like, that's...
You're like, I do pull.
I pull women. Yeah, I pull 2 at a time. Sorry.
Yeah. On a good night.
18 plus
If they
podcasts.
turn out not to be a douche.
If they, don't call me the F word.
Yeah, then I'll pull.
And we can pull.
Yeah. It's mutual. It's about balance.
Yeah, I guess. And there, I mean, I also don't realize in some of the other ways, not that I don't realize, but until the moments happen, we don't think about a lot of that. Like, how do I dissect some of those situations to be like, what is my privilege in that? Until it happens, you're like, oh wow, like, my bad, this was me.
Talking about privilege, and the reason why I bring it up is because it's more with like homophobia and stuff like that. There was this person that was called out and be like, you got to check yourself. It actually involves police and how it wasn't incorporated into a pride celebration, and they're really upset, and they're talking about, I'm not saying names.
Word, I was like, did that happen this year though?
This was very recent.
Okay, cool, never mind, not cool, but I'm with it.
But how they were talking about how, this is stupid, the police should be involved when when an accident happens, they're the first one to be called. And I was reading this person's post and I was like, in your world, it's the first person to be called.
Yes.
I was like, in the world that I grew up in and around my Indigenous friends, when something happens, police aren't called.
No.
I was like, they won't call them, that's not the right thing to do.
No.
I was like, so you have that privilege that the people that you hang out with, the people that you grow up with, culturally as well as like sexuality-wise, socially, that they're called.
Yeah.
In your world, they're your protector.
And that's the safe option. Like, that's the only option in a lot of people's minds. Yeah.
And in a lot of places, in a lot of circles I've been into, the police aren't called because like there's that trauma of like seeing it bad. And I had this conversation with not this person because I know that if I interacted, he still wouldn't understand it. I don't think he'll ever understand it. He's at this age where I don't think they'll ever get it. But it's disappointing that they don't see past their own lens.
Yes.
And same with myself. I understand that the police are good for some people.
Yeah.
And with myself, my own personal life, I've never had a bad run-in with the police.
Which is good.
They've always been like good around me, but I've seen what they've done to other people. I've seen how they've racially profiled. I've seen the violence they can have. Just because it's never happened to me doesn't mean that I'm going to be like, oh, the police are great. They're the first person going to call. Yeah, so people just need to understand their privilege.
No, it's a big one. And I did see that a lot growing up. I don't see it a lot now that I'm older, but I grew up like...
Also not as big of a party and a drinker, so we're not in these situations
anymore.
that we used to be when we were younger.
No, I was always like, when I hung out with my friends, I was always the white kid.
Yeah.
So like whenever,
you go deal with the cops, you're white.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's what it was. There was a couple of times where, you go. But there was a couple times where it's everybody run. That's pretty much what it was.
We'll meet up at this
run.
place. There was always a specific meetup night. Like subconsciously, you all met up somewhere else.
We always kind of knew. It's like, oh, where are we going? Yeah. No, that's a thing. And I find I still, even now in my adult life, when I'm just like walking by or to like to have a conversation at like during a Canada Day celebration or something, I say Canada Day celebration with quotes because like talking to the police, just like walking by at events or stuff, like I get physically tight. Yeah. And it's like a physical response. And there's nothing in my mind that I think about specifically when that happens, but it's just like, let's call. Eyes go lateral, and I'm just like scoping out what have you, and I have conversation. It's like, okay, what are you asking? Yeah. What are you really asking here? And I just get to the bottom of it, move on. Yeah. Can't.
Literally. I'm the same way. Actually, not with police somewhere, but when I go through security with an airport, it just fucks me up every single time. I don't know why.
I don't have anything, and I don't even do stuff. But yeah, it's like, oh my god, do I have a kilo in my bag?
Literally. I'm like, I don't drink, I don't do anything. I'm like, but they're gonna find residue of cocaine I did 20 years ago.
That's real. That's real talk. That's real talk.
And there's like no real issue for past trauma for me at airports, but I've seen so many reports of being racially profiled.
That's the thing.
And then every time I'd go to an airport, I'd be with friends, I would overdrink and I'd be worried about it. I'm like, I don't want to be this drunk native. I don't want to be denied
entrance to the plane because you're intoxicated. Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Recognize your privilege.
Yeah. So yeah, I was thinking.
Use it for good, not as a crutch or a way to not do better.
I thought I was going to say something else, but I forgot.
It's a privilege you have.
It's also that. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. One up. Amazing. What's your views on having police and things, culturally as well as homophobia?
I stand by Pride's statement. I think that if people want to come as a citizen, then out of uniform, off duty, come to Pride.
Yeah.
But the history of Pride, and especially with us in Fort McMurray trying to really bring in the Indigenous aspect of like being queer or being Indigenous, sorry, the words are not, being
Indigiqueer?
Indigiqueer, yeah.
Throw them both together.
Is like, it's an act of like, it's like political in its own, just to exist in the world that we live in today. And people don't see it as that, and I don't really think about it like that, but I lost my train of thought again.
That's fine. I'm thinking the same. Maybe we'll come back during my little tangent. But I also feel that people that have the police in their system that are good and helpful for them, great. But historically, the police haven't always been on Indigenous side. Like, they were illegal, so the police were murdering and killing them at one point, being left behind. There's still all this, like, man bravado in the police force. And then if you have one toxic person there, then they can infringe on everyone else. They also had the Starlight tours everywhere, like the Murder and Mrs. Women, no one cared about it. And then that's just for indigeneity part with the homosexuals as well, with the murdering and killing. And yet people would be like, they're the first person to call when something goes wrong. Like,
why?
Yeah, it blows my mind
why?
that you can't see past your own view to understand that the other rest of the world has feelings.
And not everybody is in that same context of relationship with law enforcement for any degree of that. Like even a peace officer. Like a peace officer versus police, they are different, but they're essentially the same for the establishment that they expect to put out. But no, I don't think that police should be allowed because of the violence that was perpetrated against Indigenous people, queer people, people of color in general, any minority group really that wasn't, white in society. They're like, oh, you're different, you're this, If the world learned anything from apartheid in Africa, in the States, it should be that quantifying people on their skin color means nothing. You cannot do that. But, we that know that are living in a different plane of existence than some of these people, so they'll catch up eventually.
Eventually, hopefully.
We'll be another step ahead of them, but they'll come to the place where we're at.
We're evolving. They're not.
First.
But also, in my mind, do I feel that the police have a great place in this society? They have their purpose.
They have a purpose.
And if they're doing better and they're learning and they're growing. So yes, and once again, the police weren't not allowed at this festival. It's just in uniform. And that happens all across Canada. It's not something that's
It's a standardized thing, I feel like.
So it's just weird when people freak out about it. Be like,
no,
this has happened for years here.
And I think
where
people
were
just
you upset before?
People just want there to be heard in a lot of that sense.
No one listens to me, so let me make a ruckus.
Let's have a conversation, say something, stir up the pot, controversial. Sometimes people feel irrelevant as well, so maybe they have to say something to make them relevant back in a conversation, which unfortunately is damaging to other levels. Like, sorry that, people forgot about you. Move on with your life.
Your irrelevancy is not my problem.
Not my fucking problem. Some people don't need notoriety to do good. And some people need to be seen doing the good things. No, you don't.
I only do good when the cameras are rolling.
That's why we're so laughing.
That's right. Is the camera on? He needs to see me picking up this trash. Oh my God, that is the difference though. Some people need to be seen doing it compared to some people that just live the life.
People aspire to be great. I heard this quote, people aspire to be great all the time and it's so much pressure. Being good is enough.
Being good is
enough.
Being
a good person.
The ripples you create with being a good person change everything.
You don't have to be great. You can be, but you don't have to
You don't have to be. Just be a good person.
Just be a good fucking person.
But also for all just being good people.
And the world would be boring. You're not wrong. We need
not boring. It'll just be great. Everyone would be getting like proper STI checks and having sex and their sexual health be good. That's being a good person.
Yes, it is.
That's still having fun and doing your thing. Everyone would be doing drugs in a buddy system so no one dies.
Nobody would die alone.
Exactly.
You know what? In that sense, I agree with you.
Like
I see that.
Not being boring. Like just have things you people go on hikes with each other instead of going by yourself. It's my problem. There's so many things, not just boring. We're just going to sit here and have our little mac and cheese. I don't know if that's white people do.
But still, yeah.
Just kidding, that's native.
I got
Throw
the
some
vibe.
hot dogs in it.
I got
cultural.
I mean, yeah. Cook your macaroni in the wiener water soup. It'll be good.
Exactly. Just add that flavor. that's gourmet.
That's really, I still eat that.
I do too. I was actually craving it
every
the other
once
day.
in a while, like every 6 months to a year, I'm like, I really want a box of mac and cheese with 2 hot dogs in it.
Literally.
It's so good.
I'm not even kidding. I think maybe 3 weeks ago, I did that. I went to the grocery store, specifically just bought, I don't have milk in my house, so I had to buy the milk and then I had to buy the hot dogs, and I bought the macaroni, and I ate it, and I was like, I'm good for another 6 months. I was like, but this is very comforting.
Hard on the body, that's for sure.
Oh, totally. It just
But
ran right
it
through
also-
me, but it was good in the moment.
I think food should always do that for us,
Yeah.
Make you feel good. Have the intention of that.
Yeah. I was watching this documentary called You Are What You Eat. I don't know if you watched this on Netflix. And it was this person talking about cheese and how it releases an aphrodisiac almost in some people. So that's why people eat it even though they're lactose intolerant.
and they're
because it triggers pleasure and happy emotions that they're like, I'm going to suffer through it. And then they shit themselves.
That makes sense.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank
Good.
you.
It's gonna be a bit.
Amazing. Well, Brendan, this was fantastic. I think you're
thank
such
you.
a beautiful human being. And if you ever move to BC, you should. You need to get out of this town.
I know.
Yeah, you need to blossom and grow somewhere else.
I do.
I feel like you're in a planter box, and you've grown, but your roots have reached the edge, and you need to replant into another box so you can keep spreading.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Do you want to tell anyone your last little thoughts or things, or where they can find you if people want to follow you on your social medias?
Yeah, okay, I guess. I mean, I'm so sorry in advance if you look at my social media and you don't see anything, because I am very terrible at social media. I have this thing where I want people to know who I am, but I don't want to do the work. So, hi, I'm Brandon, aka Stella Lamour of the Oil Royals in Fort McMurray. My drag Instagram handle is at StellaVangelist. And yeah, I don't think I'm getting enough praise.
Yeah, I don't need to. So that's fantastic. That's great. And then if you ever find him on Snapchat, he's lying about that. There was a point that you were posting every other day.
Oh, I know.
So much.
It was really fun. I used to do
was
the
good. I enjoyed
Snapchat
it.
thing. Yeah, my document my life story, but I'm not an influencer. And the
enjoyed
27 people that look at my stories, I just do it because I want to
was
look
one of
back on
them.
it later. I do it for the memories.
Yeah.
And I like to inspire joy and love. We don't have enough of that.
You need to do
So
that.
I lost a little bit of that for a while, but
Well, keep
I want
posting.
that. I want that.
Keep posting.
It's
We
my
like
job.
it. Same with I post Walking with Ella. I think it's the dumbest thing ever, but everyone's always tells me, when are you doing it again? When
I
is it coming
love when you
back?"
do Walking with Ella. You make the best jokes in it because you're so quick. You're like, I'm on my way to the gig. Oh, that was a hole. Better not step in that.
So witty.
Brand new heels.
Yeah, so observational.
It's so
witty.
great. That wasn't a good joke to say.
But no, that's basically what
But
it
yeah,
is. So you
Walking with
summed it up
Ella.
in a nutshell really, really
It's
well.
really great. I love it.
Thank you, Brendan. That's fantastic. If anyone wants to follow me as well, Walking with Ella happens usually when my car breaks down and I have to walk to the gig. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I
Thank
think
you
you're
for
a
having me.
fantastic, beautiful being. If anyone wants to follow them, it's at Stella Evangelista on social media. And yeah, we can find out what they're doing when they're performing. Hopefully it's soon.
Yes.
I think I said one day. But thank you so much.
Thank you for
everyone.
having me.
Bye.
Bye.